Hey, welcome back to another Just 5 Mins. Um, well, this time around we've got blockchain, okay? But specifically blockchain being used in Microsoft SQL Server 2022, Azure or on-premise. I don't know the exact version, but certainly it's not immediately new. It has been floating around for a little while now, possibly a year or even more in a preview state. But blockchain, obviously, from the cryptocurrency side, Bitcoin and things like that, is the underlying technology that drives those cryptocurrencies. There are obviously lots of other things that have spawned off from that. But the blockchain technology has been morphing its way into different products and technologies over the last years. It's not actually new, but for certainly, when you're used to managing something like Microsoft SQL with all your other types of tables, you now get the value of having something called a ledger table. Okay, so that really is where you've got a blockchain based table. So it adds all sorts of things like, you can cryptographically attest to other parties that data hasn't been tampered with. Okay, so it's got all sorts of lovely features there that there's a post that I've got that you can have a read, and obviously there's a hell of a lot more data on the web, and certainly from the Microsoft Learn website as well. But the idea is that this type of technology has been seeping into other products, and I've seen it in a couple of other cases. Certainly, where it really seems to have had a big impact in the business world is to do with all your your purchase ordering system. So all logistics. So there's a lot of purchase-based systems out there that you're buying stuff and you want to be sure that it's getting to the right place and it's getting shipped and all the rest of it. That blockchain technology is starting to make it, well, it has been for a while, making its presence known, to give that transparency. But yeah, there's some really interesting things going on. But the good thing is, you're not a million miles away from that technology or even understanding the details underneath, because it is built into SQL, and you can create a ledger table just like you can with a normal SQL table. But there are features, properties, and behaviors that will uh, that will present that you can take advantage of. Like, so ultimately, an updatable ledger tracks the history of those changes to any of the rows. So, when transactions that perform updates or deletions occur, the history is taken care of. You can't change that. You can see exactly what's happened. So, if you're sharing that data, exporting the data, even, there's essentially a way of having that trust that's quite transparent between multiple parties. So yeah, so it's an interesting time, and again, this isn't anything you know really drastically new. It's been getting into all of these products and technologies for the last few years, and I'm sure it will continue to do so. But from a SQL perspective, or should I say a Microsoft SQL perspective, it's certainly been made visible and usable within the normal sort of like SQL operation that you'd expect. So quite an interesting one to take a look at. How you would use it, why you would use it. Well, there are quite a few use cases. I'll put a link um, in the notes below, because it isn't always obvious when you look at this and think, well, what am I going to do with that? Why is it useful to me? Why should I even bother? Well, yeah, it's a really good set of questions. But I'm not going to have time to answer them right here, but I will link to some use cases that you can check out for yourself. So that's what I've got for this time. We'll catch you on the next one.